struggling to access their medication. The same was highlighted by reality TV star Mahib Kapoor recently on Fabulous Lives vs. Bollywood Wives. This brings us to the next question. Can you buy Ozempic over the counter? Whether you're using it for type 2 diabetes or weight loss, it requires a prescription from a healthcare professional. So what's your take? Should stars stop promoting shortcuts like Ozempic, or is it a personal choice? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to Shosha for all the latest updates on celebrity trends and controversies.
Good evening, you're watching Plain Speak with me, Poonam Burde. 5 days ago, on November 24th, violence broke out in Sambhal over a court-monitored survey at the Shahi Jama Masjid. The violence started when a crowd gathered near the mosque as the survey team, led by an advocate commissioner, began its work. Local administration claimed that the crowd swelled to nearly 1,000 people. They tried to prevent the police from entering the mosque. Some people in the crowd allegedly threw stones at the police, is what they claimed. Eventually, we saw CCTV footage of that come out as well. The mob then set ablaze several vehicles in the area. 5 days later, an eerie calm prevails in Sambhal, even as several arrests have been made. Today, Friday prayers took place under a cloud of tension. Security was heightened and flag marches have now become routine over the last few days. A 3-member Judicial Inquiry Commission is also investigating the violence. Their report has to be submitted to the governor within the next 2 months. Now, while the probe on ground peaked, the case reached the highest court of the country as well. Today, the Supreme Court stepped in and halted the current proceedings in Sambhal for the time being. Chief Justice of India, Sanjiv Khanna, urged for maintenance of peace and harmony while halting any further actions by the trial court, which had initially ordered the survey based on claims made by Hindu petitioners that a temple previously existed at this particular site. The court said that the trial court cannot pass any order in this particular case just yet, that the mosque committee will have to approach the High Court and the Supreme Court will not intervene. The Advocate Commissioner can file its survey report, which is not yet ready, is what we're given to understand, which is why they've sought a further date and extension for that survey report to be filed. That survey report has to be kept in a sealed cover until the High Court decides what happens next, is what the Supreme Court observed. The Supreme Court has also directed for the formation of peace committees. They don't want any untoward incident, and it's not just in the aftermath in this particular week, but up until this legal battle continues, it is the responsibility of the administration and the mosque committee to ensure that there is calm that prevails in Sambhal, was the clear message that came out of the Supreme Court. It's also directed the UP government to maintain peace and harmony. The Sambhal survey case will be heard only after the 6th of January now. Now, both the Hindu side and the mosque committee say that this order from the Supreme Court is in their favour. The Hindu side came out and said that this is not a setback for us at all, and that we're satisfied with this particular order. The masjid side then said, "Ek asha ki kiran jagi hai. It's a ray of hope for us." The Hindu side said that this mosque was built after demolishing the Harihar temple, to which the masjid said that there's absolutely no proof to say that, and there is no remnant of a temple beneath the Shahi mosque. The Hindu side said that an ASI survey will unravel the entire truth. The survey's report, which will be submitted in a sealed cover to the court. The masjid side then said that civil court orders are only inflaming communal tensions which have never existed in the past. The petitioners of the Hindu side said that the masjid committee is using this temple forcibly and unlawfully. Samajwadi Party, whose leaders are under the cloud for the violence that broke out on the 24th, they have then put the blame on the former CJI, Justice Chandrachud. They said that one particular order by that particular judge had opened floodgates across the country for such cases and for surveys like these to be conducted. Now, the issue is not just limited to this petition or to this survey anymore. Today, we had the Archaeological Survey of India, or the ASI, that added a fresh twist to the controversy. An affidavit that was filed and verified by them yesterday cited an instance from June this year, where the ASI was blocked from entering the mosque, which is an ASI-protected monument. It's a 22-page affidavit that claimed that there was interference by locals and masjid committee when such an inspection was being undertaken. The ASI said that their officials were stopped from entering the structure altogether. The last inspection of the site was carried out in June 2024, it says. Then they cite an instance from that particular visit back in June where the masjid side did not let them enter. The allegation of the ASI is also that to an ASI monument, modifications are being made by the Masjid Committee unilaterally. They also then said that Places of Worship Act, which the Masjid side has been claiming, does not even apply to the structure because this structure comes under the ISI and that precedes the Places of Worship Act. The monument is a Z protectee of ASI since 1920, which is why the 1991 Places of Worship Act does not apply in this case, says the ASI. The affidavit also states that the Masjid Management Committee has carried out multiple modifications and additions at the monument, which is not allowed under the 1958 Act. The Archaeological Survey of India attached a few pictures in that affidavit as well to show the modifications that were made, which they claim they were not even allowed to inspect. So they say we don't know what the current stand or the current instance of it is. They put out these pictures that you see on your screens, what it looked like earlier, what it looks like now. Now there is no bar on any maintenance or repairs, but it cannot be done without the ASI being a part of the process as per the law, which was not done, claims the ASI. Another picture that they've put as part of this particular affidavit that was given to court was the north side dome of the masjid. The view from the southwest is also something that they have put forth in this particular affidavit. The masjid's main dome, the pictures of what it looked like before and what it looks like now, the modified version as claimed by the ASI. The masjid's gallery area as well is something that has been modified. There's painting that has been done, maintenance work that has been done by the Masjid Committee unilaterally is the allegation that the ASI makes. So there is a fresh twist that now has come to the fore as far as this entire Sambhal showdown is concerned. There's an interference allegation there as well, which is why we want to ask here on Plain Speak tonight. Is there an attempt to suppress the truth, and if so, will it finally come out?
The Honorable Supreme Court has directed them to file their petition, and if it is filed before the High Court, it should be listed within 3 working days. Court had expressed its concern over peace and harmony to be maintained in the region.
पीस और हार्मनी मेंटेन रहना चाहिए, मतलब अमन और शांति मेंटेन रहे. जब तक वो अपील की सुनवाई नहीं होगी हाई कोर्ट में, तब तक निचली अदालत में सिविल जज की कोर्ट में संभल में जो प्रोसीड सूट है वो आगे प्रोसीड नहीं करेगा. वो स्टे हो गया, स्टे ऑफ प्रोसीडिंग हो गया.
जानने का मकसद ये है कि जिस तरह से चंद्रचूड़ जी जो पहले सुप्रीम कोर्ट के चीफ जस्टिस थे, उनके एक फैसले से गलत प्रेरणा लेकर के निचली अदालतें सर्वे के ऑर्डर पास कर रही हैं जो 1901 के जो एक्ट है, जो फर्शिप एक्ट है, उसके खिलाफ है. और यहाँ पर जो दंगा भड़काया गया है, खास तौर पर उकसाया गया, लोगों को होश का पानी निकाला गया, जबकि सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने मना किया था किसी भी सर्वे के दरमियान किसी चीज़ से छेड़छाड़ नहीं की जाएगी.
मैं माननीय न्यायालय के फैसले का स्वागत करता हूं और समाजवादी पार्टी और उनके गुंडों, अपराधियों, माफियाओं, दंगाइयों को हिदायत देता हूं कि माहौल खराब करने की कोशिश ना करें.
So let's open this up. Sanjay Chaudhary, spokesperson of UP BJP, joins us. Pradeep Bhati, spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, advocate of the Supreme Court, Ashwini Dubey is with us, and lawyer Bilal Khan is joining us as well. Pradeep Bhati, let me begin by asking you your first response to what came out of the Supreme Court today. How do you look at the Supreme Court's order?
Good evening. The Honorable Supreme Court observation is in line with what we were saying from the day one. BJP is trying to murder our principles and values of brotherhood and justice. BJP is playing with the future of this country. They are trying. We have many valid reasons, but I will highlight 2 today. Number 1, BJP wants to hide his incompetency on the social, economic and development fronts. So what they will do? What they will do? They will dodge, they will divert, they will distract, and they divide to any extent, no matter to whatever the social harmony may cost. So BJP is trying. So this question is not only about their failures of law and order, but at the same time BJP is trying to divert the core issues which are related which we would have been discussing, rather the fraud, the height of fraud in Uttar Pradesh polls, the teachers, the students, the unemployed youth on the street of Uttar Pradesh, the
But how
gap
is the
between rich
BJP
and poor
trying
is
to divert
increasing
from any
every
of these
day.
issues? The survey, when the violence took
Whenever
place, was
these
ordered by a court.
issues-
Wasn't ordered by the state government, was it?
The case was filed on the same day and the order was given on the same day. So please do not tell me right now what Supreme Court has already stated in its judgment. It was vastly favorable in the BJP's interest. So let's
But it still
understand
was a
that
court
also, and
order, right?
Let's not be that innocent.
So
that
how
we
is
do not
one court
understand.
order okay
Poonam,
because it's
let's
in
not
your
be
favor
that
and the other court order not because it's not in one person's favor?
Supreme Court order is supreme. I think,
Absolutely.
Poonam, you understand that.
Absolutely.
And whatever is Supreme Court is saying is the final word. So if I say, you say, whatever we both are saying may be of less value than what Supreme Court is saying. But at the same time, the basic and important question which BJP will try to hide and running away, we have been discussing those issues, and BJP's interest is in that they every day they come with Sambhal, Bahraich or Ajmer. They go every different places. But may I ask them, what about these three places being, if they would have been become smart cities? BJP will not talk about those cities making them smart. This is the biggest problem of BJP. BJP will go to all how to distract and divert the things. They want to reduce the brotherhood between the people of this country. They are bringing the country's political and social discourse to the new low. That is what BJP is doing.
Sure.
So we
So
have
let
to
the
be,
BJP
and
respond to
at the
that. And
same
Sanjay
time, we have to
Chaudhary.
also understand that.
श्योर संजय चौधरी, ये सारी साजिश है बीजेपी की अटेंशन भटकाने की, पोलराइज करना, कम्युनल चीजों के बारे में बात करना, उन इश्यूज को उठाना, बीजेपी का बस यही काम है, कहती है समाजवादी पार्टी एंड अ लॉट ऑफ अदर राइवल्स ऑफ द बीजेपी टुडे.
देखिए, समाजवादी पार्टी गलत तथ्यों को रख रही है. इसमें बीजेपी कोई पार्टी नहीं है. बीजेपी किसी प्ली को लेकर कोर्ट में नहीं गई है. कोर्ट में एक पर्सनल अपीयरेंस हुई. उस पर्सनल अपीयरेंस को देखते हुए कोर्ट ने एक डिसीजन लिया. कोर्ट का जो डिसीजन है उसको सेफ्टी के लिए उसको जो कोर्ट की टीम जा रही है उसको सिक्योरिटी प्रोवाइड करने के लिए जो एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन का काम है वो एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन का काम किया. और कोर्ट के जो डायरेक्शन है उस डायरेक्शन को डाइल्यूट करने के लिए वहां के लोगों ने समाजवादी पार्टी के एमएलए, समाजवादी पार्टी के एमपी के भड़काने पर इस तरह की पोजीशन वहां पर बना दी कि जो लॉ एंड ऑर्डर के लिए निश्चित रूप से अलार्मिंग थी. उसको लेकर कार्रवाई हुई है. मुझे लगता है कि कोर्ट ने पहले भी जो डिसीजन दिए हैं, कोर्ट अब भी जो डिसीजन देगा, कोर्ट आगे भी जो डिसीजन देगा, हम संविधान और कानून को मानने वाले लोग उसका पालन करेंगे. जो भी डायरेक्शन होगा वो हमारे लिए एक्सेप्टेबल है. हम उसके आगे सर झुकाते हैं. कानून और न्यायालय के हर निर्देश को भारतीय जनता पार्टी सर झुका के उसका पालन करेगी. लेकिन देश के लोगों को अगर ये जानना चाहते हैं कि वास्तव में वहां सच क्या है, तो सच से मुंह नहीं चुराया जा सकता है. सच को जानने का अधिकार सबको है और वर्शिप एक्ट भी ये कहता है कि सच सब जान सकते हैं, सच छुपाया नहीं जा सकता. और एएसआई के पुराने जो सर्वे हैं, एएसआई का भी मैप आज सामने आया है. 2004 तक वहां पर लोग कुएं में जाकर वहां के जो हिंदू थे वो पूजा करते हैं. पुरानी परंपराएं वहां से जुड़ी हैं. एएसआई जिस मॉन्यूमेंट्स की को केयर टेक करता है उसकी सूची में भी इस जगह का नाम है. मुझे लगता है कि अगर किसी को भ्रम है तो भ्रम का निवारण भारत के अंदर न्यायालय ही कर सकता है. और न्यायालय उसके अगर निवारण के लिए सर्वे की परमिशन दे रहा है तो सर्वे के रिजल्ट का इंतजार करना चाहिए. और
But
तब
for
तक
now that
कानून
survey
और
has also
व्यवस्था
been
की
stayed. Mr. Chaudhary, the Supreme Court has also observed that this order that was given by the local court for the survey to take place in the first place was an ex parte decision, which is why there was a reason to stay it, which is why the Supreme Court went and stayed it as it did today. But before I get in the other two gentlemen, Pradeep Bhatti, quick rebuttal.
Yeah, what I'm saying is he's saying that it's not concerned to BJP at all. Let me ask him one very specific question. This issue related to, he has talked about the Places of Worship Act. This issue is already in Supreme Court since few years. In 2022, 20th September 2022, that time Chief Justice of India U. Lalit Saab asked a BJP government, tell us the stand of BJP, the government, central government stand on the the Places of Worship Act within 2 weeks. But BJP government from last 2.5 years is sitting on the same the same issue and even not filed their reply. And they are saying that this is not concerned to them. I remind, because let me tell him that one of the Afzal Mangoli Saab's 2 lines, मंदिर भी ले लो, मस्जिद भी ले लो, इंसान के लहू से मगर अब मत खेलो. So BJP has to understand that don't play with this kind of create this kind of divide in Uttar Pradesh and India just for your petty votes. So please, we request them, do not do that, and do not do everywhere in the country. We have a act already in the country. And if you want to say something, say it in the Supreme Court. Why you run away from when Supreme Court asks you something? You run away. You are doing 3 unconstitutional works in last 1 year itself. And whenever Supreme Court asks you, you dodge. You say bulldozer was running on the criminals. You are doing chest thumping. Mr. Yogi was doing chest thumping.
Let's come back to the subject at hand. Let's come back to the subject at hand.
Encroachment issue.
Sure, let's come back to the subject at hand. As far as the Sambhal issue is concerned, Bilal Khan, there's one aspect of the survey that was conducted twice and the violence that took place only the second time around. That has been stayed now. But the Archaeological Survey of India has now filed an affidavit which was done before the Supreme Court's order came today. In that affidavit, they've gone on to mention several instances where, despite this mosque being an ASI protected monument, in the past on multiple occasions, the ASI team was not even allowed to go and inspect there. What would you have to say about an allegation like that?
First of all, I said thanks to Honorable Supreme Court who said maintain peace and harmony. इस तरीके से देश के अंदर बीजेपी ने आज पूरे देश के अंदर आज अराजकता फैला रखी है. सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने उनको तमाचा मारने का काम किया है. जुम्मे के नाम को नाम करते हैं ये लोग. फ्राइडे को जो एक गुड डे होता है उसमें हजारों लाखों लोग नमाज पढ़ते हैं और आज उन्होंने दिखा दिया कोई वहाँ एक पत्थर नहीं, वहाँ कोई ऐसा इंसिडेंट नहीं हुआ जिससे बीजेपी वहाँ कहती है कि मुसलमान पत्थर चलाते हैं. हमेशा से देखा गया है कि 5 लोग जो हमेशा से देखा गया है अराजकता फैलाने वाली पार्टी कौन है, जो 80-20 की बात करते हैं, शमशान कब्रिस्तान की बात करते हैं, मंदिर मस्जिद की बात करते हैं. हमेशा से यही देखा गया है. लेकिन जो वहाँ जिम्मेदारी है बीजेपी और योगी आदित्यनाथ की जो जिम्मेदारी है लॉ एंड ऑर्डर की सिचुएशन को संभालने का, 5 लोग वहाँ डेथ कर चुके हैं, उसकी जिम्मेदारी किसी ने नहीं ली. लेकिन सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने वहाँ गुंडागर्दी जो पुलिस कर रही थी डीजीपी से लेके सब लोगों को इतना स्ट्रिक्टली बोला है. जस्टिस सूर्यकांत जी ने जो वहाँ टिप्पणी की है अपने पॉइंट आउट किए हैं, वहाँ पे स्ट्रिक्टली बोला है कि गुंडागर्दी कर रही है उत्तर प्रदेश पुलिस. किसके उस पर कर रही है? क्योंकि यूपी पुलिस किस पे चलती, गवर्नमेंट किसकी है? ये जिन्होंने शुरू से अराजकता फैलाने का इस देश में.
सर, क्या आप कहना चाह रहे हैं कि वहाँ पत्थर नहीं फेंके गए थे?
बटेंगे जो
क्या आप कह रहे हैं जो वायलेंस हुआ था वो नहीं हुआ था?
किया था जब पुलिस वहां पत्थर देख. आप ये कह सकती हैं मैम प्लीज, मैं आपसे एक डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा हूँ, वहाँ गोली नहीं चली थी क्या? ये लोग खुद मर गए क्या 5 लोग?
बिल्कुल चली थी.
डायरेक्टली क्वेश्चन पूछता हूँ आप सर, बीजेपी
मैं तो कह रही हूँ बिल्कुल चली थी. आई एम अग्रीइंग, बट आप क्यों नहीं अग्री कर रहे हैं कि वहाँ पत्थर फेंके गए थे?
जिम्मेदारी कौन लेगा?
बिल्कुल स्टेट को लेनी चाहिए. लॉ एंड ऑर्डर इज अ स्टेट सब्जेक्ट. द स्टेट शुड टेक रिस्पांसिबिलिटी फॉर दैट. But does that mean anybody can take law into their own hand and then turn it around on the state government and say you should have taken better care? Is that what you're trying to suggest?
जो सिचुएशन वहाँ खराब की गई है उसकी जिम्मेदारी तो लॉ एंड ऑर्डर सिचुएशन की उत्तर प्रदेश की गवर्नमेंट की है. बट इन्होंने वहाँ पल्ला झाड़ दिया कि वहाँ स्टोन पत्थर चले, पत्थर चलाने के बाद गोलियां चला दी गई. ये बहुत
सर,
अच्छा
पत्थर चले ये आप अग्री करते हैं, बट आप कह रहे हैं कि वो पल्ला झाड़ रहे हैं. बट पत्थर चले थे,
चलाने पे गोली
पत्थर चले थे.
पत्थर कोई चला रहा है, अगर कोई चला रहा है मान लीजिए, तो आप सीधा गोली मार देंगे उसको, सीधा गन पॉइंट डेथ कर दिया जाएगा कि ये भारत का
जी,
संविधान
बिल्कुल
इजाजत
नहीं,
नहीं देता, ये
absolutely
संविधान
not.
को तोड़ने वाले लोगों
Absolutely not.
ये पुलिस की गुंडागर्दी चलेगी मैडम।
Absolutely not. I'm not suggesting that. I'm not suggesting that there should be shoot at side orders. But that does not mean somebody can take law into their own hands.
संभल वो तो गलत है। देखिए, कोई भी लॉ एंड ऑर्डर की सिचुएशन हो, उसको अपने हाथ में कानून लेने का किसी के लिए इजाजत नहीं है, ना वो पुलिस को है ना आम इंसान को है। वहाँ लाठी चार्ज स्टार्टिंग किसने की थी विजुअल में दिख रहा है। लेकिन मैं एक सवाल और मैडम करना चाहता हूँ, जो एडवोकेट हैं जैन साहब, वो विष्णु जैन लगातार वहां जो जा रहे थे, एंट्री कर रहे थे, क्या वहां चढ़ाई करने जा रहे थे, मस्जिद तोड़वाने जा रहे थे? सर्वे का ऑर्डर हुआ, वहां लोगों को लेकर जय श्री राम के स्लोगन्स लगाए जा रहे हैं, वहां लगातार ऐसी बात की जा रही है और वहां 300-400 लोग लेके जा रहे हैं। वहां कोई लड़ाई हो रही थी, झगड़ा हो रहा था? जब एक कोर्ट ने ऑर्डर कर दिया है, वहां मस्जिद कमेटी के जो लोग हैं उन लोगों ने ऑलरेडी बहुत अच्छे तरीके से सर्वे कराया फर्स्ट डे। सेकंड डे में जो इन लोगों ने वहां वारदात करने की कोशिश की, वहां गुंडागर्दी दिखाने की, वहां से भड़काने का काम इन लोगों ने भी किया है। चाहे वो विष्णु जैन हो, वहां पे जितने लोग और अलग से बुलाए गए थे, उन लोगों ने स्लोगन्स लगाए, वहां से प्रोवोक हुआ, फिर ये हुआ दंगा। एक तरीके से ये प्री प्लान्ड भी मैं इसको कह सकता हूँ। लेकिन आज सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने दिखा दिया, सुप्रीम कोर्ट इज द सुप्रीम।
आप कह रहे हैं कि ये विष्णु जैन और हिंदू साइड से प्री प्लान था, यही आरोप आप पे भी लग रहे हैं कि स्टोन पेल्टिंग की प्री प्लानिंग दूसरी तरफ से भी की गई थी, तभी वहां हजारों की तादाद में लोग मौजूद हुए, जब हजारों को होना चाहिए भी नहीं था, जब सर्वे हो रहा था रविवार के दिन।
कोई कह रहा, मैं एक सवाल, एक कह रहे हैं 50,000 लोग थे, कोई कह रहा है 1,000 लोग थे, कोई कह रहा है 500 लोग थे। इनके स्टेटमेंट ही ऐसे। मैं बीजेपी के लीडर्स लगातार देख रहा हूँ चैनल पे, कह रहे हैं 1,000 लोग थे, 10,000 लोग थे। तो मुझे बताइए लोग कितने थे वहां पे? इनको यही नहीं पता कितने लोग थे, बार बार कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि इनको खुद ना खुद कहीं ना कहीं इनको इश्यूज क्रिएट करने हैं। जैसे अजमेर शरीफ ख्वाजा मोइनुद्दीन चिश्ती की दरगाह पे पूरे देश और पूरी दुनिया जो है उस पर आस्था मानती है। देश का कोई ऐसा प्राइम मिनिस्टर नहीं जो वहाँ चादर नहीं चलाता हो। वहां पे भी ये इसके बीजेपी के लोग सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, उनको कह रहे हैं होना चाहिए सर्वे। वहां पे भी आग लगाना चाहते हैं क्या आप लोग? यहाँ तो संभल में लगा चुके हैं। मैं बीजेपी के प्रवक्ता से पूछता हूँ, जो आग लगाने की साजिश आप लोगों की चल रही है ना,
I'll let Mr. Chaudhary respond to that, but बिलाल खान, मैंने आपसे एक सवाल पूछा था कि जून में जब ASI की टीम गई थी टू इंस्पेक्ट दिस मॉस्क, बिकॉज इट इज एन ASI प्रोटेक्टेड मॉस्क, they claim they were stopped, they were blocked from investigating, they were blocked from inspecting that particular site. या वहां रिपेयर्स मॉडिफिकेशन हो रहे हैं बिना ASI को बताए, विच इज नॉट अलाउड अंडर द लॉ। ये उन्होंने कोर्ट में कहा है। क्या आप कहेंगे ये भी साजिश है?
नहीं, देखिए वहां जिस तरीके से ASI का सर्वे हो रहा है, जो भी चीजें हो रही हैं, वहां दोनों पार्टीज ने, चाहे वो एडवोकेट्स कमीशन,
मिस्टर भाटी, लेट हिम रिस्पोंड प्लीज, द क्वेश्चन वाज फॉर हिम।
सबने ऑलरेडी वहां पे बहुत अच्छे से कराया, बट कुछ लोगों ने ये कहा अंदर खुदाई हो रही है, ऐसा हो रहा है, बवाल हो रहा है। ये कौन लोग थे? इनका इन्वेस्टिगेशन करके जांच करिए ना, कौन चाह रहे थे वहां पे
इन्वेस्टिगेशन शुड हैपन। 4 lives cannot go in vain. Somebody has to be held accountable. But Ashwini Dubey, let me get you in as well. The Places of Worship Act is an act that is being cited every time such an instance comes to the fore, every time this reaches a legal hurdle, which is what has happened even now. The ASI in this particular case has gone on to say that this is an ASI monument, was declared so even before the POW came into being.
Yes, Poonam, this section 4 subclause 3 of the Places of Worship Act is specifically mentioned that any property or any building or monument which is ASI protected, the Places of Worship Act does not apply. Number 1. Number 2, the Historical Monument Act also says that if a building is more than 100 years, Places of Worship Act shall not apply. Number 3, this conversion is prohibited under the Places of Worship Act, though the legitimacy is under challenge, and the Supreme Court is here already seized with the matter, saying that whether a law can be passed which prohibits a citizen to approach a court of law for judicial review. That matter is already pending, and the question of law has been framed. I am not going into that. Now, the second, Poonam, if an order has been passed by any court, be it the trial court, be it the high court, when there is a remedy, appeal to approach to the appellate forum, if that is violative, to challenge on certain grounds, not to take stones in the hand and pelt or the throw at the security forces who are there to implement an order. Now 3, when the Archaeological Survey of India, which is a government body, which says that we were also not allowed to enter there for inspection, which we have to carry out as per the act. And we have found, when somehow with the help of the police, when we reached there, we found that the several intervention and modifications have been carried out inside the mosque. Now 4, the Honorable Supreme Court, by maintaining the balance, because court has to see to balance, court has to see whether any order has been passed rightly or wrongly. It cannot be said that the order has been wrongly passed by the trial court, because this is to be looked into by the Honorable High Court, and then Honorable High Court will take a decision. Question herein is, if there is an order, if people are going there to implement that order, is this not any person who is in possession of any property, monument or a religious place to allow those inspecting team to go inside? The basic question is this, and not only at one place. Now 2, when the places of worship act, because who has to see it, whether it is barred by the places of worship act, that has to be seen by the court itself. If it is barred by the places of worship act, then the one and foremost argument would have been there to the appellate court. What is the appellate court? Is the High Court saying that, look, despite there is an act passed by the parliament in 1991 which prohibits these persons to file a petition and also court from taking an action, the court has ordered a survey, and that has to be stayed.
But the argument, Ashwini Dubey, is that when that trial court order came out, they didn't even hear the other side. This was an ex parte decision that was taken, which was the objection right from the start.
No, which is, the law says, the law gives power to every court to pass an even ex parte order, even to the Honorable Supreme Court, even to the High Court. That is what is called the ad interim injunction or ad interim order, or somewhere is status quo. So that is vested with the law. Code of Civil Procedure under Order 39, Rule 1 and 2 prohibits, and also there is a power for directing the survey, directing the inspection. So far as the conversion of any place is concerned, which existed on 15th August 1947, conversion is prohibited, and survey, ordering survey is just investigation, not the conversion. This is my argument.
Which is also what was observed by the Supreme Court when the Gyanvapi issue had come up. Pradeep Bharti, as far as the survey is concerned, there is no bar on a survey under the Places of Worship Act. So if a survey is being conducted, why not ensure that it completes and concludes and the truth will be out?
See, the prima facie, when you see the intention in this case, it was not ASI survey. That we have to understand. And let me ask my learned friend Ashwani ji, where he was talking about that this is an ASI kind of a ASI property, and property belongs to ASI, seems like from his statement. Let me ask him whether ASI was the party in this case when the judgment was survey judgment was given. No, this was when central ASI is a central government institute. You are not even asking them, and when don't try to divert with the survey what regular basis ASI does. That is different from this. This whole gimmicks been built by the BJP just to do a division in the society. So let's not compare these two things: ASI survey in the normal course of action and the survey which is being done to identify this particular property. And I have asked very specific question. Mr. Ashwani can also answer that. That why central government is not giving his reply, his stand from last more than 2.5 years in the Supreme Court. Why they are shying away from that? They do not have guts to even take a stand on that, and they are talking all this big things here. That is the problem of BJP.
Sure.
They do whatever they want to do on the street.
Sure. So let me get in Ashwini Dubey, because you've specifically asked him a question. Ashwini Dubey, if this is an ASI monument, why was ASI not even heard? It's not just the masjid side that was not heard as far as ordering that survey by trial court is concerned. The ASI also was not made a party to this entire issue. So why should the ASI now have objections?
That's ASI involved in this.
Poonam, let's go through the ASI affidavit, which is not disputed even by the Honorable Supreme Court. Whether heard or not heard, that was not the question which was before Honorable Supreme Court. Question was whether the inspection which was carried out, survey which was carried out by the surveying team or the court commissioners is contrary to the law, and for that the honorable court has maintained a balance. Now coming to the ASI affidavit, I am not disputing, I am not saying, I am nowhere, I am no one to say anything about what the ASI affidavit which the honorable Supreme Court has
Let him finish, sir. He was patiently listening to you. Let him finish. I'll get you in. Let him finish.
I am clarifying. No, I am just clarifying. The affidavit was given in the Supreme Court, not in the lower court.
No, the ASI affidavit was given in the lower court. Yesterday.
ASI affidavit says that ASI officers were not allowed to enter the mosque for inspection, and that the Jama Masjid Management Committee has done several intervention and modifications inside the mosque. So do we not believe, do anyone or any court should not believe the agency? Now second question has been raised about the applicability, maintainability of the Places of Worship Act. Whether central government will file reply or not, that has to be looked into by the law officers of the government of India or the central government. Basic question, Poonam, is can any law be passed in a constitutionally run country which prohibits anyone to approach to the court of law for redressal of the grievances? Can there be any law? Similarly, not comparing with the Waqf Act. That I am not comparing the Places of Worship Act and Waqf Act. Both are different parameters. But even if you Waqf Act, you see that the tribunal, no appeal in, no revision against any court of law.
Sure, and but in this case, there is legal recourse.
There is a bar to approach to the court of law. There is a bar to approach to the court of law. Can that be constitutionally correct in a constitutionally run country? Citizens can be deprived from approaching to the court of law for redressal of their grievances, which has been given in the law.
But this is still, but that brings in a bigger question of whether POW should exist in the first place or not. But at the moment it does. So anybody who uses that as a defense or as a point of argument is well within their rights to do so. But Sanjay Chaudhary, I want to get you in for the last time before I wrap this up. BJP की नियत है कि वो they keep the pot boiling. The issue that the opposition has with the BJP is that you want to keep this communal cauldron boiling, which is why every few months, either the BJP or people who the BJP has propped, like in this case is what the SP says, they come up with these cases, they come up with these new ideas that there was a temple under pretty much every mosque. So give it back to us.
देखिए, बीजेपी का स्टैंड मैंने पहले ही कहा कि क्लियर है, इसमें इंडिविजुअल अपीयरेंस है, इंडिविजुअल अपीयरेंस के बेस पे कोर्ट का एक ऑर्डर है और कोर्ट का ऑर्डर लगातार ये बता रहा है कि जो कोर्ट ने ऑर्डर दिया है, एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन का काम है जो कोर्ट ने ऑर्डर दिया हुआ है उसको इम्प्लीमेंट कराना। उसके इम्प्लीमेंटेशन के खिलाफ जो लोग आए, आज मैंने देखा है कि उनकी तस्वीरें लगी हुई हैं, ड्रोन कैमरास में उनके चेहरे दिखाई दे रहे हैं। वो कौन लोग हैं जो इस लॉ एंड ऑर्डर को खराब करना चाहते हैं?
तो लॉ एंड ऑर्डर कंट्रोल क्यों नहीं कर पाई सर? वो तो स्टेट का सब्जेक्ट है। अगर पता था स्टेट गवर्नमेंट और लोकल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन को कि सर्वे होना है, तो व्हाई वाज द स्टेट नॉट बेटर प्रिपेयर्ड?
नहीं, देखिए, पहले दिन जो सर्वे हुआ वो पीसफुल रहा। क्यों? और पहले दिन के सर्वे में ही समाजवादी पार्टी के विधायक और सांसद अंदर घुसे थे, जो ये कह रहे हैं कि जैन साहब के साथ लोग कौन है। तो जैन साहब के साथ जो लोग थे उसमें समाजवादी पार्टी के सांसद भी थे, विधायक भी थे, और इन्हीं लोगों ने बाहर आके लोगों को भड़काया और वहां की वीडियो रिकॉर्डिंग दिखाई दे रही है, सीसीटीवी कैमरास को तोड़ते हुए लोग दिखाई दे रहे हैं।
All of that was only on day 1, not on day 2 of survey, is what the Masjid Committee has also said, is what the Samajwadi Party has also said, and the MLA and the MP of Samajwadi Party, the MLA's son who've been booked, have also said that. But that still does not bring us to the end point where what really is the truth as far as this particular mosque is concerned, and is there an attempt to hide it? Why are we seeing such allegations come up? Who is really trying to keep this pot boiling, or who is trying to muddy the waters? Unfortunately, the debate will continue until the courts settle that for once and for all, and we'll wait for that day. But I'm completely out of time. I thank you all gentlemen for joining us here on this debate on Plain Speak. Coming up after a quick break, though, here we have the India versus Pakistan face-off. This is happening over the ICC Champions Trophy. Hybrid model is what India wants. Pakistan says no can do. But can they really dictate terms?
Those for the question say aye. Against, no. I think the ayes have it.
Social media will soon be banned for under 16-year-olds in Australia after a new law sets a benchmark with one of the world's toughest regulations targeting big tech. It forces tech giants from Instagram and Facebook owner Meta to TikTok to stop minors logging in or face fines of up to $32 million.
We know there is widespread concern and evidence about the severe mental health impact of social media on children. We've seen
a parliamentary inquiry this year heard evidence from parents of children who self-harmed due to social media bullying. Domestic media backed the ban, led by Rupert Murdoch's News Corp.
I'll quickly pull it up.
16-year-old user Eni Lam acknowledges its potential harm, but says it is deeply ingrained in society and the law will force young people to more dangerous parts of the internet.
With such like a clear-cut ban, I believe that it will only create a generation of young people who will be more technologically literate in bypassing these like walls.
The ban also faced opposition from privacy advocates and some child rights groups, but 77% of the population wanted it, according to latest polls. Speaking on behalf of social media platforms, Australia's Digital Industry Group Managing Director Sunita Bose said the bill was rushed through Parliament.
In some ways it's cart before horse because we have the bill, but we don't have guidance from the Australian government around what are the right methods that a whole host of services subject to this law will need to employ.
In submissions, Google and Meta said the ban should be delayed until an age verification trial finishes, expected in mid-2025. The country will be watched as a test case as a growing number of governments look to implement similar legislation.
Today I can announce that
the ban, considered a political win for Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, could strain Australia's relationship with key ally the United States.
Come here.
Ex-owner Elon Musk, a central figure in President-elect Donald Trump's administration, said in a post this month it seemed a backdoor way to control access to the internet by all Australians. Australia has also made social media platforms pay media outlets royalties for sharing their content, and now plans to threaten them with fines for failing to stamp out scams.
And I feel like people under the age of 16 right now wouldn't know how to live without their phones and social media. Like, it'd be a really hard change for them.
I think it's good to have some sort of limitations for younger kids because there's a lot of stuff online which is quite dangerous and scary for young kids to see.
Somos una generación.
We are a generation that is called technological for a reason, because social media are part of our lives. I think that we should find another solution rather than prohibit social media.
Otra forma que no sea prohibiendo las redes sociales.
Penso sia difficile, ma penso che sarebbe ottimo.
I think it's difficult but great. It's an initiative that makes a lot of sense in Australia, and one that we should bring here to save the next generation from a filter like social media that filters life and doesn't allow you to be completely yourself.
Completamente se stessi.
I don't think it's a good thing, really, because I think that it's not going to stop it, and also the government's taking control of things that is parents' responsibility, because parents are going to keep still using their social media, aren't they? And their kids are going to be watching them doing it, so what's the point, really?
I mean, like, not to sound like an old fart, but when I was a child, it was my parents' responsibility to not police, but like, you know, enforce what I was doing and like make sure that I was not, you know, exposing myself to any harm. And I think that maybe a government intervention is probably unnecessary on such a wide scale. I think potentially there needs to be a lot more education for parents about what potentially is available on social media to their very young children, and then it should ultimately be, I feel, probably more their responsibility than like a government-wide ban on something like that.
I'm feeling very angry. I feel that this government has taken democracy and thrown it out the window. And how can they possibly make up these rules and these laws and push it upon the people without a due process?
Thank you for staying with us. You're on Plain Speak. Ahead of the ICC Champions Trophy next year, a face-off has ensued between India and Pakistan off the field. BCCI, which is the Board of Control for Cricket in India, has chosen not to travel to Pakistan for the tournament. This is due to long-standing political tensions. And to facilitate India's participation, BCCI has suggested a hybrid model. But the Pakistan Cricket Board has deemed this completely unacceptable. Now, the ICC board met today briefly, and they will reconvene once again in a few days to take a call on what happens next as far as this Champions Trophy future is concerned. Until Saturday for now, the decision has been deferred, is what we're given to understand. The tournament is set to begin in February next year. The venues are yet to be confirmed. But the question we really want to ask on Plain Speak tonight is simply this. Pakistan says we don't want a hybrid model, that India must come to Pakistan and play. But can Pakistan really afford to dictate these kind of terms?
हालात हैं, सब कुछ है, उनको देखते हुए फैसला लिया जाएगा. हमारे लिए खिलाड़ियों की सुरक्षा सर्वोच्च प्राथमिकता है.
There are security concerns there, and therefore it is unlikely the team will be there, going there.
प्रधानमंत्री बिरयानी खाने जाए तो अच्छी बात है, इंडियन टीम क्रिकेट खेले तो अच्छी बात नहीं.
हम तो भर्त्सना करते हैं कि प्रधानमंत्री वहां जाके बिरयानी क्यों खा कर आए. उनको बिरयानी खानी नहीं चाहिए थी.
Let's open this up. Ashok Sajana, former Indian diplomat, joins us. Kumar, Pakistani strategic affairs expert, is with us as well. Mr. Chima, let me begin by asking you. The Pakistani Cricket Board says that we don't want a hybrid model, even though there has been a precedent to this. Similar things have happened in the past where India and Pakistan have played, not in Pakistan, in Sri Lanka. The last time around, a similar instance came to the fore. Why is the PCB insistent this time around?
Well, the question, Poonam, is that since ICC has already given Pakistan the right that we are going to be the host, so if the ICC is asking Pakistan to host this tournament, so what on earth India can dictate and tell that, oh, we are not ready? So do you say the same to other countries? Or do you think that this is because political? The Prime Minister Modi...
No, we don't say that to other countries because security is not a concern in other countries, unlike in Pakistan.
Don't tell me the security. Just yesterday, internet and schools were closed in UP. Don't tell me Uttar Pradesh...
And just 2 days ago, the Sri Lankan team had to return and cut short their trip from Pakistan because security was an issue.
About the security.
So let's not preach about that, sir.
Do not tell us about the security. In UP, schools were closed, internet was closed.
But in UP, the Pakistani cricket team is not coming to play. And if they were, and if you had concerns, then maybe we would have addressed it. But let's talk about what the issue is at hand.
The question is that we are not going to address your concerns, what you want. We will do what is in the interest, what the ICC said this, what Pakistan is as a host will decide. So it is not India will decide. Okay, you want to dictate.
So if the ICC says that if India needs to be a part of the Champions Trophy, then please hold a hybrid model. Will the PCB then say, okay, fine, we'll do it? If the ICC tells you so, because the ICC so far hasn't told you that we'll agree to your terms either.
Well, first of all, we will not let Prime Minister Modi to dictate us. He can dictate in India, but he cannot dictate in Pakistan.
Absolutely, which is why I asked you, if the ICC tells you, do it in a hybrid model, will the PCB say yes?
No, we should not say it.
Why? It's an ICC tournament. So can the ICC also not dictate terms then?
For one member, the ICC should change the rules and regulations and should change the entire tournament for one member. Why? Are you different from others? Are you coming from Mars? What's the problem with India? India must come Pakistan. If they don't want to come, they should leave the tournament. Play next time. That's the only choice you have. I think this is all about politics. You need votes. For the sake of votes, if Jay Shankar can come Pakistan, why ICC, the Indian team cannot come Pakistan? Jay Shankar came at the SCO. This is a multilateral forum. ICC, India is playing tournament under the ICC. This is not a bilateral series. So in a bilateral series, you can say no. But in a series where the ICC is the one who is dealing with everything, Why can't you come? But you sent Jay Shankar at the SCO. So this is the double standard of Indian government. This is the double standard of the MEA, and this is all about politics. So Modi is starting cricket wars. We have had enough of the traditional wars between both the countries. Ambassador, Ashok is a very seasoned diplomat. He can tell us better. The question is, Prime Minister Modi is all talking about votes. For him, votes matter. But for India and Pakistan, relations don't matter. People to people contact doesn't matter. For him, it is necessary to win elections.
Kumar Chima, you say votes matter. It's vote really, but Ashok Sajjanhar, many would say it's the note that matters to Pakistan, because if India does not go there to play, they would bleed millions and billions of dollars.
No, absolutely.
Sure, there are multiple other teams as far as a multilateral tournament like this goes, but imagine the kind of revenue an India-Pakistan match would garner, and Pakistan would lose that because India has categorically said we're not going, period.
No, absolutely, you're very right, Poonam. I think the attraction of any cricket match is, the presence of India on the playing field, and India is doing extremely well in all the formats. So, having India play is, of course, makes eminent economic sense also. To a couple of the questions that my friend Dr. Kumar Chima has mentioned, it is a question of security, and, that is paramount. It's not a question of votes. There are no elections taking place right now. All the parliamentary elections that was to be held, it takes place once in 5 years. It was held recently. No election to be taking place now. The most important election after the parliamentary election is the election in Maharashtra. That also has happened just now, which without any reference to Pakistan or whatsoever, the BJP and its allies have won hands down. They have won a decisive and emphatic victory there. So it's not a question of elections. The next parliamentary elections are going to be 5 years hence, and no one starts preparing for any election at this moment. It is really a question of security. What he mentions about Dr. Jaishankar, there was a lot of pressure even at that time on Dr. Jaishankar not to go, because Pakistan is really not in a position to ensure security, and particularly of an Indian person, whether cricket team or external affairs minister. He had to go there overnight. The cricket team doesn't go overnight, that it goes today in the evening, attends the meeting and comes back tomorrow morning. It is not like that. If there is a tournament that's happening, it is for a sustained period of many days. And we have had these precedents in the past when, and as you said recently, 2 days ago, the Sri Lankan team returned. We've seen what happened when even the Belarusian president, Alexander Lukashenko, was there, and we saw the sort of demonstrations that were taking place in Islamabad. You see, Pakistan authorities, law and order, whether it is army or it is police, it is not under their control. It is slipping out of their hands. And we don't want to sort of, subject our people to circumstances, to situations. Final point, Poonam, as you made yourself, because you made excellent points to Dr. Kumar Chima, what you made, that this is not going to be the first time. There are precedents earlier that, it has been done. So what is the reason? Let us not stand on ego, false ego. Let us not stand on false prestige. Let us also, if we are organizing cricket, let us play it in the spirit of cricket, and let us sort of, organize it in that way. And I think that will be a win-win situation for all countries concerned.
But Ashok Sajjanhar, it's not just about Mr. S. Jaishankar. Like you said, those circumstances are very different. And a team traveling for close to a month, the security concerns that would raise would be very different as well. But it's not just cricket. India has played Pakistan in different other sports. So then, is it just about ensuring or hitting Pakistan where it hurts most? Because the kind of revenue that cricket makes, no other sport would.
No, absolutely. And I think maybe that is one of the reasons why Pakistan is insisting that the cricket team should come there, because if the cricket team doesn't come there, how will they be able to generate all the moolah from, ticket sales and TV sales and other, giving other licenses for promotion of that game. So, cricket is like no other game. Let's face it. It's not hockey. It's not football. As far as cricket in the South subcontinent and South Asia, India-Pakistan is concerned, it is a class apart. And possibly that is why, Pakistan is trying to, argue this way. But I think Pakistan also should realize it has its back to the wall. It has not really organized any international contest of this nature for, I don't know, more than a decade, if I'm not mistaken, about 15 years or so. This is the first opportunity. They should not let it go just on this pretext that, India is not coming, so we are not going to host it, it will not be hosted, etc. I think they should, again, as I said, in the spirit of cricket, they should organize it and go forward and, arrange for a hybrid contest as far as India's participation is concerned.
Kumar Chima, would you like to take that spirit forward? It's just a few matches which would be held at a neutral venue. Like I said, it's been done in the past as well. This time around, UAE is being considered. Why not?
The question here is that in the past few years, of all the teams have come in Pakistan, Australia, United Kingdom, Ireland, every South Africa, Zimbabwe, West Indies, even the PSL, Pakistan Super League, which is like of IPL. That is happening here in Pakistan, and the teams come here in Pakistan, in Lahore and Rawalpindi. They play matches. Even the New Zealand team had an issue once, and then they came back and they played the series in Pakistan. Australians have been playing. The other countries have been playing. So the only country on earth who is so far saying is because of is India. And Masa, I want to tell you that you are saying elections is not a problem. Just last week, Maharashtra has been won by the ruling party in India. So don't tell the elections is not a problem. So the more the ruling party divides...
But what has that got to do with elections, Kumar Chima? India not playing Pakistan, India not playing Pakistan in cricket is a stand that we've had for years together now. And multiple elections have taken place in that.
Change the stance. This is the time to change the stance. Good countries.
We're more than happy to if you change your stance of ensuring that terror does not pass through our borders, that there is enough security for our team members when they're there. As long as you change your stance, we're more than happy to, sir. We're waiting for you to make the first move.
So if you were wrong for 15 years, don't be wrong for another year. Be right and good this year, and we appreciate if
we don't think we're wrong at all, sir. Our stance has been very clear.
I appreciate if the country will take some good decisions. You have a dynamic leadership. India has been doing wonderful in so many other accounts. So don't be stubborn. Don't look at what Amit Shah says you. Amit Shah may have some, personal...
Amit Shah does not decide what the BCCI does. And in this case, not what the ICC does. Because this is an ICC tournament.
His son is there. The problem is, ask the Indian cricket team, ask the Indian fans, and they would love to see India-Pakistan match in Pakistan. So it's not a. If you listen to the Indian cricket team, listen to the Indian people and everyone, and Poonam and Ambassa, you both. I'm happy. I'm sure you will be happy to see Indian team in Pakistan, and you will enjoy if they are winning in Pakistan. They come here, they play. The Pakistani people will like Indian team to be here. The problem is, the more Indian government will keep Indians away from Pakistan, the better it is for internal politics. You stay united by dividing. That's the formula which is successful.
No, sir, we stay united by the fact that we want to fight a neighbor who pushes terror into our territory for years together. That's what unites us.
The problem is, Pakistan pushes terrorism, Canada pushes terrorism, Bangladesh pushes terrorism. Every country on earth is pushing terrorism. India has a problem now. You need to come out of this mindset. Please grow up. You are a country of 1.4
So you're saying terror attacks don't take place in India?
I don't want to educate you.
You'd rather not, sir, because if you're saying that terror emanating from Pakistan has not affected India, then I don't know what to say to you.
You should not say anything. Send the cricket team.
Last 30 seconds. Last 30 seconds, Ambassador.
Last 30 seconds, I would encourage Dr. Kumar Chima and his government to please provide security even to the Chinese.
They will be providing.
Even the Chinese have been criticizing you. They have been telling you they are your iron friend. They are, nothing sweeter than honey, nothing higher than Sky, you
stop
can't
your
provide
deep
security
state.
even to them.
Stop your
Every
deep
day,
state
every
disturbing
second
the
day,
Chinese in
there
Pakistan,
are
Ambassador.
attacks on Chinese contingents. Chinese are
So
being
this is
killed
all
by
Indian deep
your
states
own
designed to keep
terrorists, your
disturbing
homegrown
Chinese in
terrorists,
Pakistan.
which you have tried
It's
to
interesting
bring
you. It's
across to
interesting you
India.
say that because there is
But please
absolutely
try
no
to take
proof,
care of
and you're
at
pretty
least
much
the
doing what
Chinese.
Canada
Then,
has also
we
done,
will
Kumar
say,
Chima,
okay, you
make
have something to
outrageous
do.
allegations without any proof. But unfortunately, I have no time left on this debate. I thank you both gentlemen for joining us here on this discussion. Time for a quick break on this edition of Plain Speak, but we'll be right back.
Brought to you by
Those for the question say aye. Against, no. I think the ayes have it.
Social media will soon be banned for under 16-year-olds in Australia after a new law sets a benchmark with one of the world's toughest regulations targeting big tech. It forces tech giants from Instagram and Facebook owner Meta to TikTok to stop minors logging in or face fines of up to $32 million.
We know there is widespread concern and evidence about the severe mental health impact of social media on children. We've seen
a parliamentary inquiry this year heard evidence from parents of children who self-harmed due to social media bullying. Domestic media backed the ban, led by Rupert Murdoch's News Corp.
I'll quickly pull it up.
16-year-old user Eni Lam acknowledges its potential harm, but says it is deeply ingrained in society and the law will force young people to more dangerous parts of the internet.
With such like a clear-cut ban, I believe that it will only create a generation of young people who will be more technologically literate in bypassing these like walls.
The ban also faced opposition from privacy advocates and some child rights groups, but 77% of the population wanted it, according to latest polls. Speaking on behalf of social media platforms, Australia's Digital Industry Group Managing Director Sunita Bose said the bill was rushed through Parliament.
In some ways it's cart before horse because we have the bill, but we don't have guidance from the Australian government around what are the right methods that a whole host of services subject to this law will need to employ.
In submissions, Google and Meta said the ban should be delayed until an age verification trial finishes, expected in mid-2025. The country will be watched as a test case, as a growing number of governments look to implement similar legislation.
Today I can announce that
the ban, considered a political win for Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, could strain Australia's relationship with key ally the United States.
Come here.
Ex-owner Elon Musk, a central figure in President-elect Donald Trump's administration, said in a post this month it seemed a backdoor way to control access to the internet by all Australians. Australia has also made social media platforms pay media outlets royalties for sharing their content, and now plans to threaten them with fines for failing to stamp out scams.
And I feel like people under the age of 16 right now wouldn't know how to live without their phones and social media. Like, it'd be a really hard change for them.
I think it's good to have some sort of limitations for younger kids because there's a lot of stuff online which is quite dangerous and scary for young kids to see.
Somos una generación.
We are a generation that is called technological for a reason, because social media are part of our lives. I think that we should find another solution rather than prohibit social media.
Otra forma que no sea prohibiendo las redes sociales.
Penso sia difficile, ma penso che sarebbe ottimo.
I think it's difficult but great. It's an initiative that makes a lot of sense in Australia, and one that we should bring here to save the next generation from a filter like social media that filters life and doesn't allow you to be completely yourself.
Completamente se stessi.